Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today we're taking a look at the rules from Strike Force Agastus, the new sort of like, I don't know what we call it, an enhanced combat patrol for Warhammer 40,000 9th edition that introduces some new units. Probably one of the most discussed Space Marine releases in the last little while. We have a brand new kind of Devastator equivalent in the Desolation Squad. We got some heavy intercessors in here as well. They were first actually featured in a Kill Team expansion. A new Primaris Lieutenant with tons of build options, which is great. This kit is actually probably the most versatile. The previous Primaris Lieutenants were all about like an action pose or like a specific loadout, and so the profile is kind of restricted, but this new profile basically is like a build your own lieutenant. And then a brand new supersized, redemptor-sized dread called the Brutalis Dreadnought. It might be my favorite model in this. Actually, it's definitely my favorite model in this kit. So, Strike Force Agastus is basically a rescue mission sent after an astropathic like distress call, and they send kind of their best and brightest, both a super like assault unit in the form of these guys, a heavy secure unit in the form of the heavy intercessors, and then deploying these badass new rocket slash murder gun Saturday morning cartoon style guys in the form of the Desolators, Desolation Marines. We got a nice color section, obviously based on Ultramarines for like the primary paint scheme, but they got some alternates here too. Fists paint job, a really nice. I mean, this is one of the most Raven Guardy slash Blood Angel-y releases in a while. It just has the look, and you can actually make it with talons. You might notice these are hooked and these aren't. So the Brutalis Talons obviously are an additional upgrade sort of to its melee ability, and that's very fitting for those bird-themed slash angel-themed armies. And then, yeah, our Desolation launchers, Vengor launchers. What can I say that the internet hasn't seen? They've got very strong 1980s Saturday morning cartoon vibes to them. One of the like things that people have been doing is since they came out, they've kind of been reimagining them. I do really like the idea of more backpack mounted stuff. And one of the things I saw very often was they taking these off and mounting them on the backpacks. I think that looks actually really cool. And then what you basically have is a Mark 16, like you have like a rapid fire grenade launcher as opposed to this like, it's kind of like, it's pretty Zorg. It's pretty Mr. Zorg from whatchamacallit, from The Fifth Element, where he's just got this like super gun that does everything every other gun does. It's got strong whatchamacallit, Tango and Cash handgun vibes when it's all said and done. So I don't mind it. I think that the version with like the Super Frag rocket launchers and the Castell launcher are cool. I actually really like the design of the missile launcher itself for the Vengor launcher. I think that like that box mount's really cool. I wish they were all, if they were all like this, I think I would like them better than these ones. If they were all the big one, if like the Super Crack was basically like this long missile tube and the rest of them were just like the Mark 12s or like a shoulder pack, I think I would like that better. There's not a lot to say about the heavy intercessors because they are the same ones as before. So Lieutenant Tight is basically like going on this rescue mission, fighting orcs, fighting Necrons, being whatever. And we got our rolls. All right, so new point values for everything. The Primaris Lieutenant starts at 70 now because he's got a slight glow up here. And then 5 points for most of the options. You can give him a Mastercrafted Auto Bolt Rifle, or Stalker Bolt Rifle for 5 each. Now the weapons do get a little more expensive. The new Volkite pistol costs 15, which seems like a lot, honestly, for a 15-inch range, maybe mortal wounds, with only 2 shots. I guess it works in combat and stuff too. Plasma pistol is 5, and then the Power Fist is 10. The heavy intercessor squads are 28 points a model, so you're looking at 140 points for 10. And then the only thing that costs anything is going to be the heavy bolter upgrade for a regular one for 10. Hellstorm or Executor also for 10, so not that expensive. And then the Brutalis Dreadnought, 170 points, 15 if you want to give him a multi-melta. He seems like a bargain for what he does. And the Desolation Squad at 38 points per model. It's a lot of points for what's basically intercessors with very expensive guns. So you're looking at 350 for 10, which is a significant more, and the Vengor launcher from the Sergeant costs 10 more. but I guess they hit like a ton of bricks, which they do. So the Primaris Lieutenant, same core stat line, 6-inch move, 2+2+, strength toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks. Leadership 8, 3+ save. He's got his usual, if your army's Battleforged, then each lieutenant included an attachment. A second one can be included without taking up additional battlefield roll, so you can have 2 lieutenants to every captain. And then tactical precision, usual aura for core troops within 6. Wolfguard, if it's a Space Wolf, then it has the Wolfguard keyword. Everything else seems pretty much as standard from the Space Marine Codex. Then we have, our Heavy Intercessor Squad. They're the same as currently. So strength 4, toughness 5, 3 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7, 3+ save. Sergeant's the same, 3 attacks, leadership 8. I did not notice any changes to the bolt rifle. Heavy 1, 5 -2, 2 damage for the executor. The heavy bolter is heavy 2, 5 -2, 3 damage. Heavy bolt rifle, still rapid fire, 5 -1, 1 damage. So it's just a bolt rifle that's got an extra strength. Heavy B is the same. Hellstorm bolt rifle, assault 3, strength 5, 0 AP and 1 damage, but it's assault 3, so during the tactical doctrine you get an AP on it. And then the Hellstorm heavy bolter, 30-inch range, heavy 4, strength 5, 2 damage, and then just frag and crack grenades. Same as before, core, Primaris, intercessors, Gravis X. And there he is, Big B, the Brutalis Dreadnought. He is bracketable, which means his he goes below half, he gets bracketed, so he goes below his 13 wounds to 5 or less. And then 1 to 2, he goes to his bottom bracket. Big thing that changes is just his movement, his weapon skill, ballistic, everything else stays the same. So he starts 3+3+, 10-inch move. By the time he's super cracked, he's going to be 6-inch move, 5+5+, which is a pretty significant drop. He's strength up to 7, so he is super strong, and then his multi-melta gets built into his body. His 2 heavy bolters can be replaced with 2 multi-meltas. That's going to be super popular. You're looking at 4 strength 8 -4 d6 damage shots, which means even though he's a melee terror, he's also an anti-tank terror in general, with his d6 +2 once he gets within 12. So, I mean, why not for 185 points? Toughness 7, strength 7. His Icarus heavy stubber is the same as the one on the Impulsor, so he gets to shoot aircraft well. Twin bolt rifle. He comes with the twin heavy stubber natively and the 2 heavy bolters, which are just regular heavy bolters, and 2 twin bolt rifles and the Brutalis fists. So they're ×2 -3 d3 +3 damage, which means strength 14. So still not wounding knights on 2s, still only wounding on 3s, but -3, sorry, and d3 +3. So nice consistent damage. The Talons, on the other hand, get to alternate, and you're going to have a sweep or a reroll wound rolls. I don't know why you wouldn't, because there's no bonus taking the Brutalis fist, really, versus the Talon. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, select one of the profiles to make the attack with. So if you have Talons, you can be ×2 -4 d3 +3, and then sweep for 2 attacks instead of 1 for 10 attacks at strength 7 -3, 1 damage. So, and reroll the wounds with the Talons. And I didn't see any cost difference. No, just for the multi-melta. So like, why would you, oh no, you lose the bolt rifles, that's why. So no bolt rifles on that, so if you don't want to be able to take some strength 4 shots, you just have an infinitely better melee attack. Yeah, I mean, this thing is all about hurting you in melee. That seems like a free upgrade. I don't know why you would ever not take it. And he's a Dread, so Duty Eternal, -1 damage, and he can explode on a 6. Yeah, he's core, vehicle, Dreadnought, Brutalis Dreadnought, which means that you can build him a reroll 1 to wound. I don't see any reason to keep the twin bolt rifle because it's just 4 shots, basically, at strength 4 -1, 1 damage. I would always like to be able to kill 1 wound infantry at 10 attacks and then be able to reroll my wound rolls against knights. Because now he's going in with 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, like or knight equivalent. Is that a thing now? As opposed to like marine equivalent, as mech there's a knight equivalent. So something that's toughness 8 with a 3+ save. So he's gonna go in, 5 attacks, hit on 3s. He won't have any, I guess you could Wisdom of the Ancients him because he is core. And then reroll his wounds. So Wisdom of the Ancients him because he's a Dreadnought. He would benefit from his own aura. So for a CP, Wisdom of the Ancients, reroll 1s, reroll wound rolls, and maybe kill a knight. Because you're -4, so it gets no armor save. It doesn't usually have an invulnerable save in melee, so a knight equivalent. And then you're just rerolling 1s. So and you're rolling all your failed wound rolls, so it's 3s re-rolling, which means you're probably getting 4 like wounds through, which means you're gonna have 4d3 plus 12 damage, which is a lot. So you'd have to spike high and get all your hits through to actually kill one, because then you'd have 5d3 plus 15 damage, which is a lot. But that's a pretty horrifying melee attack for 1 CP to get Wisdom of the Ancients off on it, which I'm pretty sure is still a thing. I might be wrong though. And then here they are, the Boaster Boys, the Desolation Squad. They're just intercessors, so core intercessor stat line, extremely expensive. They come natively, bolt pistol, Castellan launcher, super frag rocket launcher, frag and crack grenades. So the Castellan launcher is 36-inch range, heavy D3, 4-1 blast, and you can shoot things out of line of sight. So being expensive isn't so bad when at least your Castellan launcher can shoot everything without needing to be able to see. And then either the super frag or super crack, you can change for a super crack if you want, which doesn't cost anything, and have a single shot 8 -3 D3 plus 3, or needs line of sight but heavy D3 plus 3 4-1 blast. So really good at softening up big fat units of 1 wound models. Yeah, and then your leader has targeter optics if you want. The Super Frag Rocket Launcher or Super Crack can be equipped with Avenger Launcher and Targeter Optics, and that means you can add 1 to the hit roll. So you can hit on 2s with a heavy weapon. And the Vengor Launcher is 6 -1 2 damage blast, heavy D6, and can shoot things not visible. That's legit, because you'd be hitting on 2s against things not visible with, let's say you took a full 10-man squad, heavy D3 blast, 4-1 damage, and then on top of that, the Vengor Launcher's D6 blast, 6-1 2 damage. So it could actually take a big chunk out of like a Marine equivalent squad that are all damage too. And in the first turn, you're going to be AP -2 because you're going to have the Devastation Doctrine up as well. They've got Combat Squad, Angels of Death, and then Sigmund. In your shooting phase, each time a unit shoots, if it contains a Desolation Sergeant, you can select 1 model to also be S2+. So 2 of your guys could hit on 2s, which is nice. So there you go. That's a big shooty unit that doesn't need line of fire. I mean, it is mechanically powerful, and that means it's going to get used in the game. If it's mechanically powerful, it doesn't matter what the miniatures look like. I like the idea behind these. I just think they're really front heavy, and I wish that certain elements of the gun had been placed on the shoulder. And I think they'd look amazing. I think if there was some kind of like servo harnessy, shoulder harnessy mounts for these guns, and like the like Mark 16 or whatever, like frag launchers were like their own separate thing, I'd probably love these. I love the idea behind them. I just don't love the big, huge front heaviness of the gun. I don't mind the Devastator look when it's underslung. The overslung part of it just makes it look like the Super Soaker 9000 a little bit. So there it is, Desolation Squads. It's Strike Force Agastus, probably the final like combat patrol, like standalone army box release. This is sort of like when they did the army box for the the Leagues of Votann. Like it's not a codex, but it's just like a kind of like a standalone little 500 point thing. And if you want to know points out of the box overall, if you max out the Brutalis Dreadnought, you're looking at 360 plus 185 is 460, 560, 545. And then a Heavy Intercessor Squad is 150, so 545, 695, and then 100 points, let's say 795. It's about 800 points if you max at the Primaris Lieutenant, give them some heavy gear. Yeah, there you go. Not a bad little box. It's close to it's a patrol basically. It's got an HQ, it's got a troop choice. It's got a elite and a heavy. So throw in a command model like an HQ, like a librarian or a Primaris captain, and you're looking at 1,000 points. It's a nice little it's a comp patrol like detachment, which you could not have be a legal army now in 40K. Because you don't have enough of anything. I guess you could split these in 2 and have 2 heavies. You could buy another heavy and make this a legal. Is it Warzone Nachman? It's an Arcs of Omen detachment, which looks like it's going to be the 10th edition detachment. So this plus another heavy, you could have a legal detachment, or get yourself another troop choice or just put it in the core rulebook and play 9th edition and don't play 10th edition in advance if we assume that's what it's going to look like. But a nice 800 point army, and you can just add a couple units to it to make it a legal force in something outside of a combat patrol. So there you go, a look at Strike Force Agastus. I can't decide who I want to paint these as. I have, like, my 9th edition army was Ultramarines, right? And I want to do more Ultramarines. They're painted as Ultramarines here, but I feel like if I do a new Space Marine army for the new edition, they should be a different chapter. I shouldn't just keep expanding my Ultramarine army. It's like 3,000 points I've got painted now. I should make something different if there's going to be a new starter set, and I kind of want to hold off. Maybe what I'll do is I'll compromise. I'll paint the Strike Force Agastus. I'll paint 5 of the Desolation Marines as Ultramarines, kind of get out of my system. I already have an Ironclad for them, so I don't really need another melee Dreadnought, and I'll save the rest of what's in this box. So that's what I'll do, is I'll paint 5 of these Desolation Marines. I'll split the squad into 2, paint 5, put them in my Ultramarines. I have like a unit from this in my Ultramarines in these colors, in my nice like cobalt blue Ultramarines, and I'll see what the poster boy chapter is for the next edition, and I'll save the rest of the models for that. So big thanks for GW sending along the complimentary copy to review, and for you guys for watching. Thanks on MASH. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching, it really does help out, and happy gaming.